Good evening, sixth graders. We're in the next lesson of natural resources, and we're going to be covering pages 58 to 61. We're going to be covering renewable energy. There are 5 renewable energy resources. The first one is hydroelectric energy. The second one is geothermal energy. The third is solar energy. The fourth is biomass energy. We're not going to be covering biomass energy in this lesson, but biomass energy is simply when we burn trash, that burning of trash heats water, that water turns to steam, and that steam turns to turbine and produces electricity. The last one is called wind energy. In hydroelectric energy, the word hydro means water, and this is the most common of all the renewable energy resources to be used to replace fossil fuels. It makes up about 4% of the energy use in the USA. In order to make hydroelectric energy, you have to build a dam across a large river, and that river, when this dam is built, it creates what we call a reservoir or a man-made lake. Now this is the inside of a hydropower plant or the inside of a dam to create electricity. Of course, the first thing you have to do is make a dam. And then when a dam is made, this reservoir happens, or a man-made lake. Then the water is now piped through the dam to a turbine. And the piping it through the dam controls the speed and the pressure of the water. In turning the turbine, it turns a generator, which makes the electricity, and it's sent out to people and businesses to use. Now there are some disadvantages to hydroelectric energy. The first one is you need a large area, because when you make this reservoir, it's going to flood a very, very large area. The second one is a large river is needed. You can't use a small river to make hydroelectric energy. It's not powerful enough. The third one is when the area is flooded, the ecosystem before and after the dam is greatly affected. The next one is called geothermal energy. Geo means earth, and thermal means heat, so you're getting heat from the earth. This is an example of a power plant using geothermal energy. It gets hot water or pressurized steam from the ground, deep within the ground, and this pressurized steam or water is located very near a magma pool. This is pumped up to the factory, and then that steam or very, very hot water, it turns a turbine, which creates electricity for people to use. Then after the water is cooled, it is sent back down into the ground near the magma pool for it to be heated again, and the process starts all over. Some advantages of geothermal energy are, it's not expensive to build one of these buildings and to maintain or operate it. There's no air pollution or radioactive waste. But there are disadvantages. The water that's deep in the earth is very polluted. When they boil this water and it turns into steam, the pollutants stay behind and it starts to collect. And they have to carefully throw this waste away, and it's expensive to do so. And if they're not careful in throwing this away, it could pollute the soil and the water. The next one is wind energy. Now, in order to create a large amount of energy using wind, you have to have what is called a wind farm. And a wind farm is merely many, many of these windmills in a large area. Now, these can produce a lot of energy because the blades are so long, they're 30 meters in length. This is the inside of a windmill. What happens is the wind turns on the blade, which then turns a turbine and then turns a generator, producing electricity for people to use. Some good things about wind energy: there's no air or water pollution. It's operated with very little help. Not many people need to take care of these windmills or wind farms. But there are some disadvantages. The first one, wind farms take up too much space or take up a lot of space. You can see in the picture there was many of those windmills in a large area. It needs continuous wind. Without wind, there's no power. And it's difficult to save the energy from these windmills. On to solar energy. Now, this is what we call a solar panel. And what happens is water goes into this pipe, and the water travels through all of these pipes inside the solar panel. The black area that you see absorbs the energy from the sun, heating the water inside. And then when it comes out, it's very hot water, and it's stored in a storage tank for a home to use. Now, this water in just one of these solar panels can get up to 74 degrees Celsius. Now, many of these solar panels together make what we call a solar field. These reflectors are added to these solar panels, which raises the water temperature up to 288 degrees Celsius. These high temperatures produce steam, and of course we learned in other energy resources that the steam turns the turbine for electricity. Some good things about solar energy: no pollution, uses very little water. But the disadvantages are that a large area is needed to replace the fossil fuels that we use. For example, in the USA, in order to replace all the fossil fuels that are used, you'd have to have a space of 280 square kilometers and filled with these solar panels to replace the fossil fuels that we use. That's a very large area. Solar panels, however, are very expensive to make. It would cost a lot of money to make all the solar panels needed for this space. And in order to be effective, it has to be able to collect and save this energy like filling up a battery, because after the sun goes down, you can't collect any more energy. Okay, students, you should have already read pages 58 to 61. We're going to do the 3 questions in class tomorrow, and we'll see you then.